Hello, and welcome to this training demonstration of SlowCOVIDNC, North Carolina's exposure notification app. I'm Corey Mercy, Deputy Chief Technology Officer, and it is my privilege to walk you through the functionality of SlowCOVIDNC. We will start by walking through an in-app illustration to understand a bit more about how exposure notification works. Then we will install the app on our mobile phone, explore the functionality, and then generate a notification. Let's get started. After downloading the app from the Play or App Store, we tap on the icon and are presented with the welcome screen. Tapping on the Enable button will begin the installation. However, we will first click on the How It Works button to learn more about the app. Here we are introduced to Mia and Jacob, who both have SlowCOVIDNC running on their mobile phones. While they don't know each other as they are standing in line at the grocery store, their phones are exchanging anonymous Bluetooth tokens. We tap Next to move on in the illustration. The Bluetooth tokens exchanged have no personally identifiable information, nor do they contain any location details. They only contain a string of random numbers and letters. The exchange of Bluetooth tokens occurs every few minutes, which enable Mia and Jacob's phones to determine how long they were near each other. Their phones also record the strength of the Bluetooth signal, so it can estimate how close they were to one another. All of this information is stored locally on each of their phones. We tap Next to continue. As time moves on in our story, Jacob tests positive for COVID-19 and decides to share this information in SlowCOVIDNC so others might know they may be at risk. In sharing this information, with his consent, Jacob will upload the last 14 days of his anonymous Bluetooth tokens. We tap Next to move on in the illustration. The SlowCOVIDNC app periodically downloads tokens that others have uploaded after receiving a positive test result. Mia's phone downloads these tokens and then scans them to see if there are any she has come into close contact with. Since she was near Jacob a few days earlier, even though she doesn't know who he is, her phone shows that she was in close proximity to one of the anonymous tokens just downloaded. Her app will perform calculations based on duration and distance to determine if she may have been at risk. If the app determines she was within 6 feet for 15 minutes or more, she will get an exposure notification on her phone along with additional guidance. Tapping Done, we will now exit the story and return to the installation screen. Here we are back at the welcome screen. You will note that there are links to both a privacy checklist and our privacy policy on this page. We will not visit these links in our demo, but would encourage you to further explore once you have downloaded the app. To begin the installation of SlowCOVIDNC, tap on the Enable button. A pop-up then appears asking to enable exposure notification and logging. It informs the individual that in doing so, their phone will be enabled to collect and share anonymous random Bluetooth tokens. It also lets the individual know that only the date, duration, and signal strength are shared with the app. An individual has the choice of tapping Don't Enable or Enable. If they tap Don't Enable, the app will prompt them with a follow-up screen encouraging them to enable exposure notifications and presenting them with an option to enable or to continue with not enabling notifications. We will go ahead and choose Enable. With the iPhone, you are also presented with another pop-up allowing the app to send you notifications. These notifications are similar to ones you receive for text or email messages. The individual can choose Don't Allow or Allow. We will go ahead and select Allow. The app then thanks the individual for installing and enabling exposure notifications, reminds them that Bluetooth must be enabled for the app to work properly, and reinforces the value and importance of their participation. Tapping Done will complete the installation and bring us to the home screen of the app, the exposure screen. From the exposure screen, you will see there are two boxes, Notification Status and Exposure Notifications. The Notification Status box shows the current status of the app and will provide periodic updates with timestamps of when the app last checked for any new positive tokens. The Exposure Notification box will hold information about any potential exposures detected, along with additional guidance. Here we can see there have been no past exposures detected so far. A link to additional information about exposure notifications and a link to our privacy policy are also available from this screen, so they are easily accessible. Across the bottom, you will see 4 menu buttons. Exposures, this screen, the home screen for the app. Notify others, for uploading keys to notify others of a potential exposure. More information, a chatbot which we are currently using to provide questions and answers, and How It Works, which provides continued access to the illustration we previously reviewed. Let's explore more information by tapping on the icon. As we mentioned, More Information is a chatbot which we may use to provide future functionality. For now, it has been configured to function more as a question and answers page. Here you will see 4 questions. I received a positive test result. I received an exposure notification. I attend or work at a college or university. I want to find more information. Tapping on any of these will open a text box with more information related to that specific question. For example, tapping I received an exposure notification provides guidance on self-quarantining, getting tested if you have symptoms, or getting tested in 4 to 6 days if you're not. It provides links to other pertinent information and advises the individual to self-quarantine for the full 14 days. Tapping the Start Over button will bring you back to the questions. Here we once again see the 4 questions. Let's return back to the exposure home screen so we have a common reference point for navigating the app. We do that by tapping on the exposures icon in the bottom menu bar. Let us now assume the individual has just received the results back from their COVID-19 test and has learned that they tested positive. Wanting to ensure they help keep their family and friends safe, as well as others in their community that they may have come into contact with, they want to notify others so they can be aware they might be at risk. To begin the process, we click on the Notify Others icon in the bottom menu bar. Here we are presented with a screen that will enable the individual to anonymously share with others who they may have come in contact with over the past 14 days that they have had a positive test result. It advises the individual to self-quarantine and lets them know that this action will only occur once. There are no additional or continuous alerts to individuals they encounter in the future. Tapping on Share a Positive Result will begin the process. Before sharing their tokens, the app provides additional information to ensure the individual is aware of the actions they are taking and understand what this means. Tapping Next will bring us to the next step in the process. On this screen, we must enter a PIN in order to move forward in the notification process. This PIN prevents bad actors from trying to report false positives. A PIN can be obtained by visiting the web link or by calling the number listed on the screen. It can also be obtained from the case investigator or case manager at the local health department. Entering an invalid PIN will result in an error message indicating we were unable to confirm the PIN. If too many failed attempts are made, the app will make the individual wait for a period of time before they are able to enter another PIN. We will go ahead and enter a test PIN. And tap Next. The app now verifies that this is a valid PIN, and upon successful completion will bring us to the Review Your Submission screen. Here we are at the next to last step before uploading our tokens to the notification server. The screen seeks the individual's consent to upload their tokens and reaffirms that this action is completely anonymous and no personally identifiable information or locations are shared. It does let them know that a date of potential exposure will be shared. Tapping Share Positive Result will consent to this upload and pops up an additional information sharing screen. This screen is presented as the final step for an individual to decide to share or not share their tokens. It gives additional detail about the information being shared in the tokens and provides the individual with 2 options, share or don't share. If the individual taps Don't Share, the tokens will not be uploaded. We will go ahead and tap Share. The app now uploads the past 14 days of the individual's anonymous Bluetooth tokens to the National Key Server, where they will be processed and shared with other exposure notification app users. The screen thanks the individual for sharing their tokens. Again, emphasizes no personally identifiable information has been shared, and thanks them for doing their part in helping keep North Carolinians healthy and safe. Tapping Done will bring us back to the Notify Others screen. Here you will note there is no information displayed on the screen that indicates a positive test result occurred and that anonymous tokens were uploaded, ensuring that an individual's privacy is maintained. Let's return to the Exposure home screen. We tap on the exposure icon. We will see here on the exposure screen that nothing appears on this screen either, indicating that the individual had a positive test result or that they have uploaded their anonymous tokens. This is because this page is to record and show exposure notifications. Since this individual is not a receiver of a notification, no information will be displayed. Let's take a moment now and explore what an exposure notification looks like and the information shared in these messages. Here we can see an exposure notification has been received on the mobile phone. It identifies that the notification has come from the SlowCOVIDNC app, informs the individual that a possible COVID-19 exposure has occurred, and suggests that they tap on the notification to receive more information. The individual will receive this notification daily until they have reached the end of their self-quarantine period. In tapping on the notification, they are brought to the exposure screen in the app. On the exposure screen, in the exposure notifications box, they will now see that an exposure has been detected. Scrolling up on the screen will display additional information concerning the potential exposure, the approximate date of the exposure, and additional guidance regarding self-quarantine, testing, and links to more information. This brings us to the conclusion of our training demo. Please bear in mind the app continues to be under development. Any future content and functionality may change. I hope you found this demo informative and helpful. If any additional information is needed, please do not hesitate to contact us at nchealthit@dhhs.nc.gov. Thanks and have a great day.